We are live on YouTube as well. So if you missed this video, you can connect and watch it on my YouTube channel as well, because we are live over there, and it will be so interesting to just, you know, um, offer an opportunity to my guys who are busy at the moment who can't watch us. They can watch us on YouTube. I'm just trying to be sure that we are live and everything is going on well. Okay, guys, so we are live. We are live on YouTube. We are live on TikTok. Welcome to our live today, and I hope that you guys are going to enjoy it. Today, we are talking about love, submission, and respect. Where does it come from? Why must it come from there? And where does it go to? This is some of the things that most of us have had a lot of confusion, a lot of debates. People have been debating and people have been complaining, who loves and when do I love? Is there any restriction that, what? I only love when, or I only respect when. I only respect when. What if this person is not doing this? What if there has been a lot of confusion and a lot of debate on that? You know, women are asking us, Coach, how am I going to submit to a man who, you know, doesn't do this and this and that? Coach, how am I going to submit to a woman, or how am I going to love a woman who is this and that, this and that? So there has been that conversation going around. And you will see in the comment section, there will come, some people will be asking me questions that, Coach, you're telling us to submit. But don't you think, how is it possible for me to submit to a man who is not providing? How is it possible for me to submit to a man who is seeing other women outside there, a man who's not loyal? How am I going to respect him? Where does respect come from? And where does submission come from? And how do you start respecting a man or submitting to a man? And how do you start loving a woman and protecting and providing for her? The Bible just says two things. Women, submit to your husbands. And husbands, love your wives as you love yourself and the body of Christ. Love them as if they were the body of Christ. So, what I'm going to talk about today, guys, is something funny. The reason why most of you are finding it very difficult to respect your men, the reason why most men are finding it difficult to love their wives. What is the reason behind it? Why is there competition between the women and the men? The instruction is simple. Love your wives as you love the body of Christ. Submit to your husbands. That's the instruction. So, what people don't always understand in this statement is that God is telling people to submit to their husbands. And God is telling people, women, to respect their husbands. The question I want to ask you today, what makes a man a husband? And what makes a woman a wife? You need to understand that not all women are wives, and not all men are husbands. You could be having a woman in your life, and this woman is not your wife. The Bible says that he who finds a wife, not a woman, he who finds what? A wife. So the first question you want to ask yourself as a man, when you think like, your woman is not submitting to you, your woman is not respecting you, the first question you want to ask yourself, are you having a wife or you are having a woman in your house? Because the Bible says, he who finds a wife finds what? Favor and treasure in the eyes of God. He who finds a what? A wife. How many men, let me not talk about husbands, how many men have wives in homes? Most of men today have women in their homes, not wives, because they did not do a due diligence. They did not find the wives that they have been told, because only those who will find wives find favor. And the favor you are finding is this wife is going to respect you. This wife is going to honor you. This wife is going to submit to you because she is your wife. But when you just have a woman in your home and you are thinking you have a wife, then the quarrel starts. The same way, a woman is and has been instructed by God, all right, to submit to her husband, not a man. The Bible did not say women submit to men. Ladies and gentlemen, these are my teachings. My teachings is to read the Bible, is to analyze what we're being told, is to go to church and listen to my pastor teaching, listen to the preacher teaching, and I take that information and I go back home and I start questioning myself. That now that the pastor has preached and has prayed and he has said that we are blessed, that our marriages are going to be great, that we are going to have children, we are going to have, you know, to make what we call them inheritance to our children. I sit down and I start questioning myself. How do I make this, a success? Then I realize that the Bible did not just tell me that I will meet a woman there that will become my woman. The Bible told me that I will only be respected and be submitted to when I find a wife. My wife will only be loved and feel loved when she finds a husband. So most of the people, most of the women come and ask us, Coach, how can I respect a man that is not providing? You are not respecting that man, and he's not providing because you did not find a husband. You found a man. And that's why, even in your statements, you are asking, how can I submit to a man who is not providing? You're not asking us, how can I submit to a husband? You are always referencing a man. The Bible does not tell us to submit, does not advise women or instruct women to submit to a man. It instructs women to submit to a husband. So, my question to you today, my sister, where you are seated, do you think the man in your life today, the guy you are dating today, the man you plan to get married to, do you think he's a husband? Do you think he's your husband? We are not submitting to boyfriends. We are not respecting boyfriends. We are submitting to husbands. We are not loving girlfriends. We are not providing and protecting girlfriends. We are providing to our wives. We are protecting our wives because that is what the Bible has said. He who finds a wife finds favor. He who finds a wife finds favor. And women, submit to your husbands. So a man who finds a wife finds favor. A woman that finds a husband submits to the husband, respects the husband. But we are here, a woman is choosing a man because a man has money. Is this money more than enough to make you a husband out of this man? You chose this man because he's handsome. Is his handsomeness more than enough to make him a husband for you? You are choosing this man because the man has got everything you are looking for. What is this everything you are looking for? the material things. He has got money, he's handsome, he's good in bed, he's working, he's a working class, he can provide whatever you ask for, but is he a husband? Is there anything in this man that make you feel like, you know what, I don't respect this guy? Most of the time, I always tell women this. A man has a vision. When you're still a young woman, when you're still at your home, when you're still with your parents, you have a vision as a lady. You have a vision to become a nurse. You have a vision to become a teacher. You have a vision to have children. You have a vision to become somebody in life. The moment you choose to leave your home and you find a man somewhere and you dedicate your life and your health to this man, I'll tell you one sign that tells you this is not your husband. The number one sign that will tell you that you are staying with a man that is not yours, when that man tells you not to do something, you argue with him, you don't see the impact, the importance of him telling you not to do what he's asking you not to do. For example, when you have a husband, I'm not talking about boyfriends and girlfriends here. We are not submitting or loving boyfriends and girlfriends. I'm talking about married couple, a man and a woman who are married couples, wife and a husband. The number one sign that will tell you that is not your husband is when your husband tells you that, hey, go and change that dress. It's not good on you. Then you feel that he is wrong. You feel that, no, I have to defend myself. My sister, this is a little bit controversial. And some people can, find a reason to start defending themselves again. The number one reason to tell you you are not having your husband as a woman is that moment when your husband corrects you and you feel he is always wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, you did not find a husband, you found a man. You are having a man in your life, you don't have a husband. Bible says, women, submit to your husbands. And it also says that a man who finds a wife finds favor. The favor is this woman is going to get into your vision. He is going to submit to you. And submission that the Bible is talking about is not a woman going to kneel down in front of her husband. The submission that God is talking about through the Bible is not having fear towards your husband. It's not a matter of when your husband puts this AirPod here, you fear, you can't touch it. That's not submission. Submission is understanding the vision of your man, is leaving your home and going to a man's home and start taking and accepting the things that these men do. That is why you don't want to get married to a man that is doing something that you cannot do. That is why I love the Muslim culture. A Muslim will never marry a lady until she converts. She can marry a lady, yes. You are a Christian, you are another kind of religion, she will marry you, but you will have to convert. You must, that is a must. In fact, before she puts a ring on your finger, first you have to go through conversion. Why are Muslims doing that? Because the Quran has told them that wives must submit to the man. That is what we call submission. Submission is not kneeling down. Submission in a marriage is a woman blending into the man's vision. And the man's vision is not that vision of becoming a rich man, is a vision of what he believes in. So my question that I always ask women who say, how will I submit to this man, yet he's not providing? My question to them is always this. It is not about provision. It's about the vision that that man has. What is his culture? What are the things he believes in? Where does he go? Is he drinking? If your husband is drinking alcohol and you are not drinking, that is not your husband. Submitting to your husband is agreeing to what he does, is being what he's doing. Is your husband is not loyal, he's cheating, that's not your husband. Because if he's cheating, you cheat. That's what we call submission. Submission is blending into this man's life. So my question is that, I've said, if he's cheating, you have to cheat. Is that the proper way? Is that the good thing to do for your life? No. Why? Because the only one thing you need to understand here is this is not the right man for you, because you cannot submit to him. If he's, let's say, he wants to build a home, what kind of a home he wants to build. But today, you find women advising men on what kind of home the man is supposed to build. See, you will see it as love, but in the near future, it will turn into something else. Things have changed with the modern way of life. Most of us have misunderstood what it means to be in a relationship, and especially marriage. Women have misunderstood their responsibility in marriage. Men have misunderstood their responsibility in marriage. Women are working harder and more than the men they are married to. The men have taken a step back because we have, empowered our women. And our women now feel that they can do anything. Our women now feel that they are able and capable. In fact, they were told some years back, somebody sang a song and told them that what a man can do, a woman can do better. And we are equal and we are same. And the thing is, and the truth is, you are never equal to a man. My dear sister, once you understand that you are never equal to that man in front of you, you win. But if you're still walking with the mind that I'm equal to this man, I'm equal to him, we are one thing, I can do what he can do. That's where yesterday I was teaching and I said, most of our women are creating the problems that we are having in relationships today. You are paying rent to a man that you call a boyfriend. You are sending money to a man that you call a boyfriend. You even lie to your parents to send you money. You are a college going lady. You are going to college. You are still studying and you have a boyfriend. And your boyfriend have got financial issues. And he's asking you for money and you don't even have that money. What do? You run to your parents. You take a phone and you call your parents. And you lie to your father that you have a problem and you need money. And you don't have a problem. It is your boyfriend that has a problem. So you take money from your father and you send it to your boyfriend. Then you still lie to yourself that, I love him. Women don't love. Men can't even feel the love you're telling them. Men don't feel love. If you have a boy, boys feel loved. Men don't feel loved. Boys out there feel loved, and that's why they call you and they ask you for money. And then you call your parents and you lie to your parents. A man will not allow you to lie to your parent to get him money. A man will not allow you to call your parent and lie to your parent that I have a problem. Daddy, I have a problem. I haven't done my shopping and I need some money. A man will not allow you to do that, but boys will allow you to do that. Now, you have a boyfriend here, you're still dating, and then this boyfriend is asking you for money. Then you call your parents, you lie to your parents, and you ask your parents for money. Your parents send you money. Once they have sent you money, you send to your boyfriend because you're lying to yourself, you love him. You marry him later. How will that man start providing for you? The Bible instructed us that he who finds a wife, a woman must be in her place, especially during the dating period. A woman needs to understand where her place is so that you don't overstep. Most of the men are not providing because you did not allow them to provide even when you guys were dating. You became the provider when you were dating. You started lying to to your parents. You even started lying to your friends and borrowing money from your friends to pay rent to a boyfriend, borrowing money from your friends to buy a suit like this to your boyfriends to show love. Men don't appreciate love. Men appreciate submission. What happens with these boys that you're giving money? What happens with these boys that you're buying lots of expensive things? What they do, they find other women apart from you who can submit to them. Men understand submission, they don't understand love. So when you are thinking that you want to love your boyfriend, they will not understand it. When women are coming here and asking me that, Coach, I love my man so much, but I don't feel loved as well. You are not feeling loved because we don't feel love. We feel being respected. We feel being submitted to. So when you submit to us, when you respect us, we love you back. How do we love you? We don't love you by telling you that I love you so much. We love you by action. We love you by protecting you. We love you by providing for you. We love you without asking you for money. That is what we call submission. When a man loves you, he knows his place. He knows his place. When I'm still dating a woman, if I have to ask her for money, maybe I know she has good amount of money that I can borrow to make some money and pay her back with some interest. If I have to borrow to take money from a woman I'm dating, the only way that I will have to take money from a woman I'm dating is that I know she has some good money somewhere. And that money, part of it is enough for my capital to go and do some business and then come back and pay her in interest. She becomes like a bank, not someone who's not that I'm taking money from her to pay my rent. That is not what God ordained in us. That is not what Bible is teaching us. That is not what becomes of a wife and a husband. So don't choose a man you cannot submit to. Yesterday I was watching a short video on TikTok and I saved that video. A lady went to a restaurant, and while she was in this restaurant, a host or a hostess approached her with a mobile phone and gave her a mobile phone and told her to call anyone and tell the person you are calling, I love you. And if this person responds, I love you back without saying any other word, we will give you some money. So this lady is confident and she says, okay, I will call my husband. And she dials her husband's number in this new phone and she calls the husband. And the first call, the number was not reachable. She dialed again and the husband picked the call. Then she said from the phone, I love you. And the husband said, what? Why? What? What are you talking about? And she said again, I love you. The husband say, don't be crazy, man. What are you talking about? I love you. She insisted, I love you 4 times. The husband did not reply, I love you too, or something. The husband was trying to know, who is this? So he kept on asking, who is this? Then the wife kept on saying, I love you. And there was no I love you from the husband. So the wife decided to say, I am Jonelle. This is Jonelle, I love you. And she's laughing. She's also like, dramatic. She was excited and she was 100% confident that her husband will say, I love you back. The husband did not say. So the lady said, just say, I love you back. I'm Jonelle, I'm your wife. The husband said, no, I can't say it. I can't. Then the wife replied, okay, it's okay, idiot. You are idiot. You are an idiot. It's okay. Leave it. Then she hung up, laughing. And the lady told her that he did not say, I love you, so you don't get money. So I went to the comment section. You know, for me, when I look at these short contents, the first thing that I always ask myself, I need to know the context of this video. I need to know where I can watch the full video of this clip, because this is just a clip. This is an edited clip. So I need to know the real facts about this video. So when I did my research, I realized that number one thing, the lady was given a phone that is not hers. Number two, she called her husband. Number three, the husband did not recognize the mobile phone that was calling him. So he needed to know who is calling him. Number three, their conversation, his conversation with her husband, always never starts with I love you. There is always something. When they have a call, the wife always calls, hello, babe, hello, honey, I'm here and here. And she calls using her mobile phone number. So the husband is used to her wife from the mobile phone number. And the wife was very confident because she knew her husband loves her. And her husband is going to say, I love you. But she did not realize that she's using a new phone, a new number. And in this era where we are today, anyone can call you and say, I love you. And you can imagine your wife is seated here and someone is calling you and telling you, I love you, and you're saying, I love you back, and your wife is listening. What if it is a trap? What lesson were we learning from it? Most of the people in the comment section were saying, you've got to divorce this woman, this man. If your husband cannot say, I love you back, then you have to divorce him. But they did not realize that they have just seen a 1 minute experience of the relationship between this woman and her husband. The woman is 100% sure and confident she is loved. But this context of 60 seconds of this video trashes that. Why? Because there are things attached. The husband doesn't know who is calling him. The woman is not doing the routine calls that she does. She's insisting in, I love you, because of why? She wants to get the money. And the instruction is just tell the person you are calling on the other side, I love you, and let them respond, I love you, with nothing else attached. So, how do people put their marriages in trouble? Your husband was providing when you were dating, and that's why you got married to him. This boyfriend that you are dating today, you are going to get married to him. Why are you marrying him? You know very well that husbands need to provide. You know very well that you will only submit to a man who's providing. You know very well that you'll only submit and love and respect a man who is doing everything that you want them to do. And you are the one choosing to get married to him today. Later, after 6 months, you come back to us saying, I cannot respect this man because this man is not providing. That is the same thing with this lady. The man did not say, I love you. Does she go to divorce this man because the man did not say, I love you? No, she has to go back and to the drawing board and figure out where was the problem. You called him in a strange number. You did not introduce yourself. You kept on saying, I love you, I love you. Is it a trap? Why would you just call me and start saying, I love you, I love you, something that you don't do every time, even if you're my wife? You keep on saying, I love you. You don't do this every time. So, how do I just respond, I love you? Love is not words, love is action. When you could look at the body language of that lady, you could see a wife that is loved. If you looked at her confidence, you could see a woman that is loved. But the instruction she was given is making her to start like disbelieving. If she will read the comment section and see what people are commenting, she will think her husband doesn't love her. And that is what happens with our marriages today. Your man is just okay. But because you go outside and you see another man holding hands with his wife, you now feel your husband doesn't love you because he doesn't hold your hands. Your husband loves you, but because you go outside there and you see that on Facebook, there are husbands who are posting their wives, You go back to your home and now you say your husband doesn't love you. Your husband just loves you. But because you opened an Instagram post and you found a husband posting their wives on their birthday and posting the gift that they have offered to their wives and whatsoever, you go back home and you say your husband doesn't love you. So people have been submitting not to their husbands, they are submitting to the things of the world. Women have forgotten to submit to the people they are married to, and they start submitting to the things of the world. They start submitting to those people, ladies and gentlemen, who offer the things of the world. They don't submit to their husbands. The reason and the thing is, you need to submit to your husband. Men have stopped providing to their wives and they have started providing to other women out there. They've started providing to women, and it is so sad that you find a man asking you that, coach, if my wife is not posting me, what does it mean? What a silly question. What a foolish man. That your wife is not posting you on social media. Does it mean this wife doesn't love me? When did women start loving men? And when did an instruction came that a woman who loves you, a woman who respects you, a woman who submits to you will post you on social media? Posting you on social media is not submission, my brother. Posting you on social media is not love. It is less and weak self-esteem, is a lack of self-esteem. You cannot love your woman at home. You now want to parade your woman on social media to show how you lack self-esteem. Most of weak couples, most of weak women and weak men are the ones every single day when they wake up, oh, my beautiful queen on Facebook. Oh, my beautiful queen on Instagram. Most of them, I'm not saying all, but I'm saying most of them. They keep on posting there. And you see, this is what is going to make another woman to go back home and start feeling like her husband doesn't love her. Why? Because her husband is not posting her. So she's destroying a good marriage where she's loved. Imagine this woman is getting food. The husband is buying food. The husband is buying her clothes. The husband is doing everything that she asked for. But just because the husband did not post her on a birthday, on her birthday, she's not loved. She will come to me asking me question, coach, I want to ask you something. My husband doesn't post me on my birthdays. What does it mean? I don't always answer those stupid questions, but I ask them questions. Your husband is not posting you on your birthday. Does he provide you for food? Does he buy you food? Yes, he does. Does he buy you clothes? Yes, he does. Did he build you a home? Yes, he did. Does your children go to school? Yes, they do. Did he pay the school fees? Yes, he did. Are you okay? What is love for you? Being posted on Facebook? You lack self esteem. You are married, but you're not mature enough. The Bible tells us that husbands provide for your wives, protect your home, build a home for your women, and make them happy and provide for them. Provision is not posting you on Facebook. Provision is not that man remembering your birthday. Provision is making sure that you have everything that is required in your home. You have a house where you can put your head. Your children are going to school. That is what we call provision. And people only provide to wives. I'm going back to this again. The Bible only told us and instructed us that husbands provide for your wives. And a man who finds a wife, not a man who finds a woman, So I want you to ask yourself, the person that you have in your life, is he your husband or is he a man? The woman that you have in your life, is he a wife or is a woman? Because the Bible says, he who finds a wife, not a woman, finds favor. And a man who finds favor, that favor that the Bible is saying, the favor that Bible talks about is submission. When you find a wife, she will submit to you. That is what we call favor. Being favored, all right? When somebody gives you favor, he allows you to do something. You are finding favor. So when you find a wife, the wife comes to your home and she agrees with everything that you do. So what I'm asking women is, that man that is in your life, everything he's practicing, do you agree to it? If you don't agree to it, then you are in the wrong place. And that's why you will come here to complain that, coach, how can I submit to a man who does not do this and this and that? The thing is, you took a man, I'm telling you, all men can provide. Men that are out here, every single man can provide. But when you pick a man who cannot provide for you, this is what women don't always understand. What one man cannot do to you, another man can do. And this man who was not doing for you something, there's a woman he can do something for. And I'll give you an example. If you marry a woman who has built herself and believes in driving a car, okay? And what she believes in is like, I need to have a car. I need to have a car of my own. I need to have a permanent house, 3-bedroomed house or 4-bedroomed house. And you are a man and you cannot afford it. And you start dating this woman and the man becomes comfortable. Let me tell you how women make a mistake. You can do it. You buy your own car, you can build a 3-bedroomed house, and then you find a man somewhere, a man who cannot even build a 1-bedroom house. So you decide to take him and take him to your home. To your home. Not that you start dating him. No, you agree to take him to your home. You get married to him because he's handsome, he's loving. So instead of this man doing his work that the Bible has instructed us to do, he becomes a wife in disguise of a man. So because you are comfortable and you have a lot of money, you bring him home. So you start providing for him. Later on, shit happen and you lose your source of income. You know where women do wrong? She was providing for this guy because she was comfortable and everything was okay. But now, after some time, she's lost it. So she expects this man to provide for her. The man cannot provide. What happens? They come asking us, Coach, how can we submit to a man who cannot provide for us? No, you took a man. You did not take a husband. There's a difference between men and husbands out there. So you need to know, am I picking a husband or I'm picking a man out of this group? There's a group of men out there. There are groups of men out there. And in this group of men, there are your husbands. So you need to pick your husband out of this group. The same goes to men. There is a group of women out here, but the Bible has cautioned us and said, only those who find wives finds favor. Only those who finds wives finds favor, not those who find women. So going out there and picking a woman that cannot respect you, woman who is above your level, ladies and gentlemen, your pastors are going to lie to you. Your motivational speakers like me are going to lie to you that there's no problem, just take any woman. No, you can date any woman, my brother. But while you are dating her, when you see that her level is beyond your level, leave. That's not a wife, that's a woman. And does not mean that she cannot be a wife. No, she's going to be a wife to someone else. Every woman you see out there is a wife to someone, not you. Your wife is somewhere. That is why the Bible has cautioned you that when you go there and you find women, you are only favored when you find a wife out of those women. So we have these men who wants to pick any woman they meet. And nowadays we are even lazy. Me and our brothers and my brothers, we have become so lazy that we don't want to work. So we want women who are hardworking, who have made it in life. Those are the women we want to marry because we don't want to be responsible, because we don't want to provide. We want 50-50 provision. We want that when we give a 1,000, my wife also has to give 1,000. What a shame. Yes, world has changed. And 50-50 contribution in a house is a must. But how does it work? Is it a 50-50 that when I give 1,000, my wife has to give 1,000? No, that is not the 50-50 distribution in the house. You need to understand as a man that you're the leader of this home. Whom can I provide for? Look for a woman you can provide for. You will be respected and they will submit to you. When you find a woman you can provide for, when you find a woman you can save, when you find a woman you can protect, when you find a woman you can be responsible to, you will be submitted to and respected. And my women, listen, look for a man whom you can submit to. Stop choosing men because they have money. Stop choosing men because you see they are handsome. Stop choosing men because you feel that they love you. Men don't love. Only boys love. And that's why the Bible has cautioned you. Is that man a husband? The man in front of you, is he a husband or is a man? Look what somebody's saying. Blaze is saying that my husband and I were doing 50-50. I became tired and left. Sometimes I sympathize, but again I say that it's not being bold. That is not being bold. You know, the worst thing that you can do with your life is to get married and then divorce. The best thing that you can do for your life is to date, to court, to know this man well, to know this woman well, and then separate without divorce. Divorce is one bad thing that you don't want to go through. You want to go through separation, breakup, before you decide to marry that man. That is why I've always said here, women, you are making these problems from the start of dating. While you are dating, you don't know where this man belongs and you don't know where this woman belongs. There are homes that have succeeded with the 50-50 where woman gives 100 and the husband gives 100, and they have succeeded. Why? Because that man found a wife. Even though the wife is providing 50%, just the same like the man, the wife still respects the man. That is a man who chose a wife. There are women out there who don't care what you offer. What they need is you as a man, and you can provide together and you can build your home. They succeed more and better. The instruction is a man has to provide. The provision here is not money. And that's why you see, when I was teaching about provision of a vision, of blending into a man's vision, Blaze was so quiet. She did not talk about her husband. But the moment I mentioned money, she came up and said she was providing 50-50. She got tired and she left. Do you know why Blaze left her marriage? She left because of money. Is that a good reason enough to leave a marriage? Because she was providing 50. So now, my question is, for everything that this man has been doing to you as a husband, The only reason you are leaving is because he's providing 50 and you are providing 50. Seriously, this is the only reason why you are leaving your marriage. You are leaving a good man just because there's a division of money between the two of you, 50-50 division of money. Because when I was talking about blending into a man's vision, I didn't see Blaze commenting. When I said, like, you need to find a man you can submit and you can respect, I didn't hear Blaze talking or commenting. But the moment I mentioned money, she said, I left because we were providing 50-50. So this is what I'm saying. There is no pride in divorce. I'm not saying people should never divorce, but I'm saying there is no pride. The society has lied to women to think that there is pride in divorce. Our society today has lied to women of a dark empowerment where most women think that divorce is being bold and courageous. But no, it is only being bold and courageous when we start from the Bible only permits a divorce when one of you becomes adulterous. When your husband goes outside and sleeps with another woman, the Bible allows you to divorce him. When your wife goes out and sleeps with another man, the Bible allows you to divorce her. But now, when we come to humanity, there is something that we call violence. All right? When somebody becomes violent, emotionally violent, mentally violent, physically violent, you can decide to leave that marriage. But I want to ask you a question. If the only problem you are having in your house is because your husband or your wife is demanding a 50-50 contribution, and you are not suffering to get that 50 contribution, you are employed, my sister, you are working, and the 50-50 he's asking for is something that you can manage, where is the problem? Why do you have to leave that marriage? Because you came to social media and you found somebody teaching and saying that women should never provide, only men should. Let me ask you, if you have a beautiful home, if you have a man that is offering everything and you are capable of providing the 50% he's asking for, where is the problem? I'm always asking this question. The thing is this, there is no problem when a woman is not contributing 50% in a home. There is no problem when a man is providing 100%. In fact, a woman has a right to come to your home, my brother, and sit and, sometimes, and I hope my wife is not watching, maybe she will give me a problem. If I were a woman today, if I was a woman, let me give you a secret, my dear sisters. If I was a woman today and a man approaches me today and tells me that, you know what, I want to marry you, I'll look at this man and see if he's got everything that I'm looking for. I will know that I am a woman. And the Bible only told me that I need to become what? A wife, not a provider, a wife. I'll ask myself a question. Am I able to become a wife to this man? I see he's built himself. I see he's got everything. I see he's respectful. I see he's an honest man. I see he's kind. I see he goes to church and I'm also a Christian like him. And I see he's not disloyal. He's not having women around him. So I want to get married to him. Once I see that and I see that my future with this man is okay, the next thing I'm going to do is to resign from my job. I'm not resigning because I'm a fool. And I'm not telling anyone here to go to resign. I'm just giving an example. I need also to put a disclaimer. I'm not telling women to go to resign from their job. I'm just telling you what a wife need to be even when you are still working. This is what you need to know. But I'm putting it in a layman's language. I'm putting it in an easier way so that you can understand what I'm saying. The next thing is I'm going to resign and come to my home and be a housewife. That is what the Bible told us. Bible instructed women to be housewives, but society told a woman that what a man can do, you can do better. So women left being housewives and they came out to start working. That is why you see your husbands are telling you that what I can do, you can also do. So my question is always this, my sister, you married a man that you claim you love. You married a man that you claim you submit to. Why is it getting so hard for you to put on table a 50% of the contribution, if at all, if, and I'm using if at all, you are working and you have the money. You claim you love her. You claim you are submitting to him. You claim you respect him. Why is it becoming bitter? If you can manage, I am not talking to women who have done what God said, because God said that women should be at home submitting to their husband, respecting and helping. A woman is a helper. A woman is not a provider, she's a helper. So you come to this home and you help this man to grow his vision. That is what we call submission. You are coming to his home and you are helping him to grow his vision. You are submitting to his vision. But you see, the society out there lied to you that what this man can do, you can also do it. So you came to his home, and instead of being at home, you go out to work. So when you are going to work, you are doing what he's doing. When you come back home, when you are mopping your house, you ask him, honey, you know, we have clothes in the laundry. Can you put them in the laundry? He goes and puts the clothes in the laundry. That is the work that you are supposed to be doing if you are not going out to work. You went to work. Your husband came home before you. He went to the kitchen. He prepared food for both of you. You are coming home when your husband is already home. Your husband has already cooked. But now when your husband is telling you that, honey, let's put our money together, we go and do shopping. And then you come to TikTok and you find someone saying that, no, 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 men should provide 100%. So you are hiding your money from your husband because somebody told you on TikTok that men must provide 100%. When your man is providing 100%, put your butts in the house and be a housewife. You cannot go to work, earn money, come and put it in your porch, and ask your man to buy you your shoes, buy you this and that, and you expect that marriage to survive. Some will survive, but most will not survive. Now you see people like Pauline Lydia. They will join a live like this. Within 2 seconds, they are asking you, what if the man is not providing? Lydia, you are late. You are very late. And those many question marks and exclamation marks just tells us what a character you are. And people like you don't get it easy in relationships. You see, when you see women in the comment section with the, what if a man is not providing? And then question mark and a lot of, that shows you a character in them. These are the kind of, I'm sorry to use you because you came to my platform and you put for me a question marks. Now I have to respond to you. You came 2 minutes ago, maybe 10 minutes ago. You haven't even listened to our class. You didn't listen to what I taught. Then you are there because that is what society has told you. Society has pushed women to, what if a man is not providing? What if? Why are you talking about what if? How did you get yourself to a man who is not providing? That is the lesson I've taught. And women who are here have listened to what I've taught. How did you get yourself? So if you have been with me, Pauline, from the start, then it means you didn't understand anything. Instead of listening to me, you are listening to your ego. Seriously, those who are with me from the start, really, do you need to tell me that I did not explain provision and submission? If you were here from the start, you are listening to my teachings. Did you really not listen to what I said about provision and respect and submission? Because if Pauline is asking me that what if the man is not providing, then I need to start my class again. I need to again start from where, we've been here for almost an hour, I guess. We've been here for 55 minutes. So imagine for 55 minutes, I've been teaching the difference between submitting and loving. There's another one also again asking me, can a man love two women? Muslims marry four wives. That means that a man can love more than two women. Are you getting my point? This does not permit men to have two women in their lives. But if you're a Muslim, it is permissible to go and do what? And marry four wives. What does it mean? A man can love. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, love is not what women think love is. You see, that what women have is submission. What women have in them, women don't have the, what do I call, the emotions to feel, submission and respect. Women have the emotions to feel being loved. So a woman is the one who receives being loved. And how is a woman loved? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I want to repeat again so that Pauline and the lady who asked, can a man love two women? I want to explain to you to understand this. And men, when I'm teaching this, I'm not permitting you to go and love two women. No, I'm just trying to explain to women to understand why it is possible and what you need to do in your relationship or marriage. Women, from today, stop telling your man, I love you, because you can't love a man. That's number one. You don't have the apparatus or the feelings or the emotional intelligence to love someone. That is why you are told to submit. A woman can submit only to one man. That is what is written. A woman can submit to only one man. Let me go to, the Quran context. I just want to steal a small section of a Quran context and the Bible context as well, because Bible also talks about it. I think it is in guys, let me just Google this. I don't cram the Bible, but I know the Bible verses. Let me see if I can get this. As I'm teaching, I will try to get the Bible verse. Can I get that Google page? These ladies are taking me now to something that I did not talk about. But let me say this. Take it easy with me, guys. I need to search this. I'm a Christian. And I always believe, just a second, guys. We have to get this right. Ah, la, 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 la. We have to get this guy. But I don't know why when you Google this, it brings a lot of things. There is a verse here that most of the people never talk about, but we have to talk about it. I don't know why I did not get these things, because I didn't know people will ask about these things. But guys, as I'm teaching about this, I'm not permitting any man to go start dating two women or to marry two, Okay, so it is Exodus chapter 21, verse 10. Guys, just a second, guys. So it is Exodus chapter, open up. Okay. Exodus chapter 21, verse 10. This is a Bible. The Bible says that if he takes himself another woman, if he takes himself another woman, until there, the lady who asked me, can a man love two women? I'm not permitting men to do this. I'm not telling you that if your man is having two women, he's right, he's doing right. But if you are a Muslim, it's okay, it's fine. If you're a Muslim, this message is even better for you. But when you are a Christian, this message is just for your knowledge. It's not permitting you to go and do this. But the Bible recognizes a second wife. And this is how it says, if he takes to himself another woman, Exodus chapter 21, verse 10. Go and read it. I'm not taking it from my own mind, but I'm reading it from the Bible. It says, if he takes to himself another woman, he may not reduce her food, her clothing, or her conjugal rights. What the Bible says, that when a man decides to marry another wife, he must not reduce food, clothing, and conjugal rights to the first wife. When I was teaching here, I told women this, that the Bible talks about a husband and a wife. A husband must provide. What is the provision? Exodus chapter 21, verse 10 explains to you what provision is. It is food, clothing, and conjugal rights. Conjugal rights, those who don't understand what conjugal rights means, this is bedtime. That's what we call conjugal right. So if you read Exodus chapter 10, chapter 21, verse 10, you will see how the Bible explained that. Now, this is now how to answer the question, can a man love two women? That Exodus chapter said that for a woman to be loved, the man must be able to provide food, provide clothing, and provide conjugal right. That is what we call love. What you people are practicing when you are dating, what you people are practicing with your boyfriends and girlfriends is not love. Those are lusts, those are feelings of affection, those are just permission to have sex with each other. Okay? It is not love. Love, the Bible has explained clearly that husbands love your wives. Then, when you go to Exodus, you find out that the Exodus is explaining that the work of a husband is to provide food, provide clothing, and provide conjugal rights. A husband needs to build you a home. That's how Muslims do it. Muslims are permitted to marry up to 4 wives. They are not just permitted to go and take a woman and marry. No, they must show that they can provide the same house as the one that they offered the first wife. They must show that they can provide the same clothing they are buying for their first wife, for the second wife. They must show that they can have the conjugal right, sex. Okay? If this night he's in this house, this following night he has to be in the second house. The third night he has to be in the other house. You have to show. And that is what we call love. And yes, I can tell you, a man can love two women. That does not mean and does not permit a Christian like me to be in relationship with two women. It does not permit a Christian like me to marry more than one wife. It only permits us to understand that if you decide to, if and when you decide to do it in the right way. Even if you're a Muslim today and you decide that you want to marry a second wife, make sure that the house you built for your first wife, the same house you're going to build it for your second wife. Are you getting the point? So to love two women, you need to provide the same thing to them. Provide the same thing. You know, when you live with the Muslims and you see them going for shopping, you will see them shopping the same thing for every wife. They will take this cup. If they have two or more wives, the same cups. They will buy a dozen of the same cup to their three wives. They will buy a bundle of maize flour or whatsoever to the three wives. That is, they know how to practice it because it is taught in the mosques. They are taught about it. We Christians, we are never taught about this. Even though it is in the Bible, we were told not to practice it. And that's why we are not taught about it. But you still find some Muslims, all right? You still find some Christians, sorry, marrying 2 to 3 wives. But the problem is the moment they marry the second wife, they forget their first wife. They marry the third wife, they forget the first and the second wife. This is a sin, and God is going to punish him for this. But I can tell you, because I read the Bible, that if a man decides to marry a second wife, even if he's a Christian, but he's providing the same food, the same clothing, the same home, and the same conjugal right, there's nowhere he will be taken to hell like we are being told. No, the Bible does not say that. If you read again, I think it's in the Kings or something. I think it's in the Kings. The Kings talks about, I think, I don't know. Let me just try to see again, guys. Permit me to try and Google again. Permit me to try and Google again. I don't know if it's Kings something, okay? But I'll try to Google it, and you'll see uh, what God talks about, what the Bible talks about. And this one is the Bible is advising men about divorce. And you see, when you are in church, you will be told that God does not permit divorce. No, God permits it. But there is an instruction on how you can, why you should divorce. There is instruction in Genesis, and it talks about when a man goes out of his home. That is, if this man doesn't bring that woman home and tells you that, you know what, this is my second wife, he goes outside your home and he sleeps with another woman and he comes back home. You are permitted as a Christian, you are permitted as a Muslim to divorce that person. Once you have divorced this woman, now you come to the king, to kings. I will search this, guys. You know, sometimes, even though I don't always teach so much about the Bible, but people are not reading the Bible. People are going to church and listening to pastors who teach them what they want to teach. But the Bible is here for you to read. For us Christians, we have been permitted to buy. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, mine is here. Mine is here. And I read it. Sometimes I just read it as if I'm reading a novel to understand exactly what God wants us. You know, before you become a life coach like me, you need to read all of these things from first page to last. You need to read it because I am a Christian, so I'm teaching mostly Christians. So if I don't know what God is instructing me about marriages, I cannot become a life coach, and especially a relationship coach. How will I advise a couple that are united in a Christian way of marriage if I don't know what God's talk about marriage? So I have delved so deep about marriage and relationship chapters in this Bible. So what I don't do, most of the Christians and pastors out there, they cram Bible verses to come in front of the pulpit to tell you, you know, Romans chapter 4 verse this says this, and now you look at him and you say, oh, this guy really knows the word of God. No, you don't need to cram the chapters. You just need to read and understand what is here. Stop trying to cram the chapters here. read and understand the message that is written in this Bible, you will be safe with your life. You will know, like myself, I know it is permitted to get married to a second wife. Even this permits, but I will read instruction that God gives to me before I marry second wife, and I ask myself, will I really manage? No, I can't manage. So I'll stay with one wife. The Bible tells me that if I buy a Mercedes Benz to my wife, I need to buy a Mercedes Benz to all of them. Am I capable of buying for two women? No. I'm able to buy for only one wife. So that's why I have to retain my wife. The Bible tells me that if I build a three-bedroomed house or I build a palatial home, I have to build it for my first and second wife. Am I capable of doing that? No. So I'll stick to my wife. The Bible says that if I impregnate my first wife and he has one child, I have to impregnate my second wife to have two children. So if I'm planning to have four kids with my wife and I marry the second one, I have to have another four kids. Am I capable of raising eight children? No, I'm not. So I stay with what? So this Bible has got all the instructions. But you see, the problem that we have with our churches is the pastors don't want to teach about this. So men miss to understand the message. They just marry. Even the Muslims, they just marry second wives, but they don't know the instruction. There are instructions on how you go for a second wife. So I'm searching for these guys. Just give me a second to tell you what the Bible says about after divorce. Mhm. About, I don't know if I will get this fast, but just give me a second, guys. Mm, these things are always here in the Bible, but unfortunately, we don't know them because we are not always being allowed or taught about them. But that chapter talks about, tells the husbands that if you decide to marry a second wife, make sure that the firstborn son of your first wife, something like that, is taken care of because that is where your blessing is from. I'm just trying to get that verse, guys. I don't always know the verses, but I know the message. So I have to Google what it says. And the problem is I'm doing a YouTube live on my Google, so I'm using Microsoft to search, and it's not easy to search using Microsoft. So I hope that you guys are going to be patient with me. Don't get tired of me. I'm just trying to get these things, guys. Mm. Those who want to learn always learn and understand. So listen to this, guys. This is what the Bible says. It's um, why did they not write the chapter? I want it with the chapter, guys. Give me the chapter. Exodus. Okay. I've gotten it, but I still want to know where the chapter is. They're just giving me the verse. And this is what the verse says. I'm gonna get the chapter in a few. If a man has two wives, the one loved and the other unloved, and both the loved and the unloved have borne him children. And if the firstborn son belongs to the unloved, then on the day when he assigns his possession as an inheritance to his sons, he may not treat the son of the loved as the firstborn, in the presence to the son of the unloved, who is the firstborn. But he shall acknowledge the firstborn, the firstborn, the son of the unloved, by giving him a double portion of that he has, for he is the first fruit of his strength. Ladies and gentlemen, if your pastors stop just talking about marriage, 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 and teach you the laws of the Bible, the laws that are written in the Bible, some of your children will prosper. Do you know that your husband has a son that perhaps he got with a woman that he did not marry? The women you always call baby mamas. And he has a son with that other woman that he did not marry, the unloved. And now your husband loves you and has married you, and you now have children. And because of your jealousy, because of your anger, because you don't want your man to speak to his ex girlfriend, to us, that's a girlfriend. To God, that's a wife. I don't know where this teaching is going to take us, but the class is almost ending. I think this is going to be another class soon. In front of God, when a man is sleeping with a woman, you are marrying that woman. Anytime you sleep with any woman, that woman becomes your wife. When you unlove her and you marry another woman, it is counted you have got two wives. So the Bible is saying that if a man has two wives, the one you slept with and you had a son is your wife. According to God's face, she is still your wife. You slept with her, you got a baby with her, she becomes your wife, even though you are not married to her, because the marriage we are practicing out here is a physical marriage that needs a certificate from the government that everyone is seeing, but spiritually you are already married to two wives. So the Bible is instructing you that if you marry again, if you sleep with another woman again and you have a son, never forget the other son, because that is your firstborn. Your firstborn is that little boy you left with another lady. And if you don't give him inheritance, in fact, if you don't double inheritance to that child, your generation that you are having with the second woman is cursed. Most of women today are struggling with their children because their husbands forgot their firstborn sons. And you see, when it is saying sons, it is not only male, because you know the Bible used to talk about men, sons, but this includes all the children, including the daughters. So if you are not saving an inheritance for your firstborn child, even if you're not married to their mother, those men that have thrown away their firstborn children because you married another woman, your generation, these children that you are getting with your second woman, they are not going to get blessings. They are cursed because your first blood, you threw it. And all your blessings belong to that first blood. I am saying it today again here. The Bible and in face of God, you are married to a woman the moment you sleep with her. Why does that happen? Every woman who is here now, who has ever had sex, your first day that you slept with a man, there was a blood that was shed. Have you girls, ladies, have you ever questioned yourself, why is it that your first intercourse with a man there was a blood that was shed. Have you, we are so wicked. Our churches are so wicked. They don't go deep in teaching people what people need to know. They keep on telling ladies, you need to keep purity. You need to be virgin. Don't sleep with a man who's not. But they're not going deep to teach women exactly why they should keep their purity. When you are breaking your virginity as a woman, there's a blood that is always shed. Do you know why that blood is always shed? I'm not going to give you the secret. I'm not going to tell you why. Go and do research and ask yourself, why is it that only once the blood is shed and it will never be shed again in your whole life? It is shed only once when you are breaking your virginity. In the face of God, the moment you break it, that's a covenant. Let me just say it. That blood that is shed when you are breaking your virginity is a sign of a covenant you are having with the man who is penetrating you. So when this man is penetrating you and you are breaking your virginity, that man is legally married to you in face of God. And the sign of the marriage is the blood that is shed. Now see how the society made it. The society removed the blood and brought us rings. Now see somebody called Upendo John Tango. They are saying that it's not all women they have blood, sir, because he's been sleeping with women who are no virgins. He's been finding these women who have been broken and they don't have blood. My dear brother, you are sleeping with women who are not virgin. Every virgin woman in the first day of her love making, they must have blood. And if you've been having, I know when you see them saying not all women, he has had experience of so many women, but he never sees blood. My dear sweetheart, I will tell you something. In my community where I come from, before the whites brought us the Bible and Christianity, a sign of a marriage was that blood. On your night, on the eve of marriage, a woman came to the men's home and an elderly aunt or grandmother will be locked with these two guys in a room that they will spread a white sheet and they will be locked inside that room. And the man and the woman will have sex. They will make love. And after making love, this old woman, an aunt or a grandmom, will take that white sheet and she will look at that sheet to find if there is hymen. It is called an hymen. They knew how to check whether the blood is a hymen or it is just something, because some women used to walk with a razor blade, so they will cut themselves to show that they were virgins. That was the sign of marriage. Then this came and they destabilized it because they introduced dating and then they introduced white wedding. So what God created as a sign of marriage, which is the blood, we turned it into a ring. Now, instead of people asking for the blood, we are asking for a ring. Show me that you are married, then you show your ring. That's why everybody asks me, why are you married and you don't have a ring? What does it mean? This is not the sign of marriage that God gave us in the Bible. It is the blood. So, the reason why you are being asked to get married when you are a virgin, you need to sign a covenant with your husband. I can go deep, but I'm sorry, guys. These are teachings that I only give, especially in church when I'm invited, because I don't preach. I'm a teacher, I don't preach. So I teach. I teach people to understand, not to cause fear. You know, the church, most of us in churches, we create fear on the congregation by telling them, God will punish you. You will go to hell. If you need to be a virgin to get married. Don't sleep with another man's wife. Don't sleep with another man's husband. You will go to hell. No, no. It is not just about hell. It's about the instruction that we have been given to respect our bodies, to respect the temple of God, to do what God has instructed us to do. And see now, Taub David is saying that just wish to have a chapter where we can find that. Just read your Bible, sweetheart. My brother, just take your Bible and read it without cramming verses. The problem with us is this, and especially Christians. Christians think that the only person who knows everything in this Bible is that person who has crammed verses, that whenever he's talking about something, they will come, that tell me in the Bible where that is written. Cramming the chapters in this Bible is not going to help you. Reading it, you pray, you put your knees down and you pray and you ask the Holy Spirit to give you the power of discernment. The power of discernment is a power that will make you to read this Bible and remove the bad from the good and take the good from the bad. But the problem is that most of us have crammed the verses. I'm not saying it is bad, okay? I'm not saying it is bad to cram, David. What I'm saying is most of us have crammed the verses, but they don't know the teaching. They have crammed the verses, but they don't know the teaching. They will tell you this verse, okay, this, whatever I'm talking about, it's in this chapter. But when you ask him about the teaching, he will not tell you. Today, if you ask a pastor that, is it okay for a Christian to marry two wives? The pastors will tell you, no, it is not okay. But when you go to the Bible will tell you that it is permitted, but with traditions, with instructions that most of us men cannot follow. So what is next? We teach our men to stick to one woman so that you don't sin against God. The pastors will teach you and tell you that marrying two wives is a sin. It is not a sin. It becomes a sin if you don't know the teachings. The teachings is, if you are going to marry two wives, when you build a house, you must build a house that is same for both women. When you make one woman pregnant, the second wife has to be pregnant as well. When you buy a Mercedes Benz for your first or second wife, you must buy a Mercedes Benz for your second or first wife. Like the Bible is saying that what you do to your first wife, you must do to the second wife. Are we capable? No. Men are marrying second wives because of sex. Only sex, nothing else. Men are marrying second wives because they want children. No, if this woman cannot bear you children, that is what God gave you. The moment you marry a second wife to have children, the first wife will be feeling left alone. She will be feeling jealous. And when you create jealousy inside your first wife because of the second wife, that is where now the sin comes in. Marrying them is not a sin. This is what your pastor is not explaining to you. Marrying a second wife is not a sin. But if your first wife says no, you cannot marry the second, I will not allow it. It will not happen. Over my dead body, you cannot marry a second wife. My brother, you cannot do it. If you do it, it becomes a sin. But if you sit down with your first wife and you tell her, honey, we have so much and we have only 2 children. Why don't I marry a second wife to give us other 2 children? And your wife says that, all right, me, I'm tired. I don't want to, give birth to other children. So it's fine. You marry the second wife. Let's have children. Now, as a man, what you need to do is that you need to look at your first wife's home. Everything that is in this first wife's home, including cups, must be in the second wife's house. If you bought your first wife a Mercedes Benz, before you marry the second wife, you must have a second Mercedes Benz in front of her home. That is the instruction that is given by God. But our pastors don't want to teach that. They're just telling us it is a sin. So there are men who don't care about sin. What sin? Up to them. There's no sin here. So they go and marry second wives. After marrying second wives, they neglect the first wife. After neglecting the first wife, it now becomes a sin. So now you are giving birth to children, and your second wife's children are cursed. They are cursed because your first wife is neglected. So you are putting curse on your second family because you are not taught the right way of getting the second family. The first person that blesses your second family is your first wife. She has to accept, she has to agree for you to marry the second wife. If she agrees, there is no sin in it. I just wonder if your wives will agree. My brothers who are watching here, do you have a wife who will agree for you to marry a second wife? Do you have any wife here who will agree for you to have a second wife? Are you providing more than enough? In fact, some of us can't even provide. Some of us men cannot even build houses for our first wives, but we are still looking to marry second wives. Are we okay? We are crazy. You are a bastard. You are only looking for women to sleep with. You are not a husband enough. You can't provide for the first one, yet you want to marry the second one. Really? It's not, it doesn't make sense, you know? So these are some of the teachings that most of our churches fear to teach men. But if we teach, no man will go for a second wife. I'm telling you, if we become bold enough to teach people the reality, the same way the Quran is doing it, the Muslims are teaching it about it plainly and clearly. And that's why most of the Muslims, they cannot go for second wives unless they can provide, because they know that going for a second wife is not a sin. Not providing for them equally is what sin is. You see, Hans the Prince is saying biblical is a second wife is not allowed. That is what they have been taught all along, and that's what they believe, but that's not true. There's a lady called Favored Girl. Favored Girl, I don't know if you are a wife material that can give favor to a man. She's requesting to ask a question. Perhaps let me connect my earpod. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Favored Girl, I can't hear you. We can't hear you. There's just noise coming from your side. You are not speaking. Okay, guys, so we were live on TikTok. We were live on YouTube as well. If you missed this video on TikTok, you can still go and watch it on YouTube. It's available over there, so you can just go search for it. Search for my YouTube channel. My name is John Gora, all the places, and you can find it and watch it. We will continue for some few minutes on TikTok as we will be ending from YouTube because I'll take some few questions on TikTok over here and then we can close it, guys. So those who are watching me on YouTube, thank you for being there. Don't leave before you like the video. Leave a comment as well. See you again tomorrow morning, the same time, same place. Thank you and goodbye. So